What's the difference between a virtuosi of the 18th century, and we have very fast playing violinists today. We have very tremendous technical musicians now. But what is there something that sets them apart from like the 18th century violins? I mean, did they
Yeah,
improvise, or what did they
yeah,
what did they do?
absolutely. Yeah, that's a great question. I think that the image of the virtuoso today is completely different from the virtuoso of the time of the 18th century. Today we have very talented performers, but the main point of difference is the virtuoso of the 18th century was considered as such when he was able not to necessarily to play fast or faster, right? And with a lot of technical complexity. But the real virtuoso was the one who could improvise on the spot, who could elaborate and even create entire compositions based on certain patterns or some general ideas. This was really the virtuoso. The old virtuoso was the one who could have that had these qualities. Had, for example, the ability of introducing very tasteful ornamentation, for example. So there are plenty of descriptions of um, virtuosi or bad performers who could not really introduce the tasteful ornamentation. For example, many were criticized because they introduced too much ornamentation that could, you know, distract from the structure of the music. So, of course, for some of us, especially for the performers who wants to who wants to play this music, is a little bit frustrating to read. Uh, a good performance is the one who introduces tasteful ornamentation. Yeah, great, but what is tasteful? Well,
Yeah, nothing's written down.
right, and it's difficult sometimes to figure out, and that's why some of the sources that I mentioned before, some of the sources that we are rediscovering are very important, because when we find an elaboration, or when we find, for example, this other manuscript that is a method, cello method, the Principi per suonare il violoncello by Supriani, right? Probably the first Italian method for cello. We find
Hmm.
also some guides to performance, how to interpret some works, how to elaborate on a melodic or a bass pattern, and those are very very precious information for us, for historians, of course, very very interesting and important, but even more, I would say, for performers, contemporary performers who wants to reconstruct the historical performance, right,
Hmm.
the practice of the time.